4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right. I'm on the road. I'm driving. Let me show you. And I'm going to go get a haircut. There's an old lady funeral tomorrow that was really cool with me, and she always looked up to me and said nice things about me. And she was cool, and she fell a couple of times out of the bed. She'd had some strokes, and nobody could lift her up. Her husband couldn't lift her up, and I had to go lift her up. And at that time when I lifted her up, one of my biceps was kind of messed up, or both of them were. I don't know what was going on. But I couldn't even use my arms, and I still did it and lifted her up. And when I say I couldn't use them, but I used them anyway. And I just took my mind off of it, and I picked her up, and she couldn't move at all. Her body was like paralyzed. She couldn't use her limbs. So it was like dead weight and from the floor. And she was like 200 and some pounds, so it was kind of difficult because she couldn't hold on to me. You know, when you think, yeah, you could just scoop somebody up, yeah, if they put their arm around you, but if they can't do anything, no, you can't just scoop them up. And then you got to be careful at how you do it because she's old, she's a lady, and, you know, her bones are not the same as ours. So, you know, you don't want to break nothing or hurt nothing or damage nothing, so you got to do it a particular way. And she still got to be comfortable in some kind of way while you're doing it. So I learned a lot in lifting her. A couple of times I did. I figured it out real fast, and I did it. Anyway, that's no here, no there. I want to go get a haircut now because I want to try to go to her funeral and at least say my goodbyes. I said my goodbyes to her when it first happened. You know, I did some prayers outside her house. You know, it's a lot of people over there, family. I didn't want to. No, that's daytime. You know, I'm not trying to intrude on their time, even though I was real cool with the old lady and her husband. The husband's still alive. They love me to death. So, yeah. Anyway, this ain't about that though. On another note, I saw a video, and I done seen two of them, but these two videos are a little disturbing to me. And you know, when something's disturbing to me, I'm gonna say something about it because I can and I need to. All right. So, two black women. They look like they're in their later 20s. Not bad looking women, but two black women said that black men who date white women or other colored women are weak men because they choose to date other colored women and not them. All right. I guess they feel that the black men can't handle them, and I want to say something about that and kind of clear that up. All right. First off, ladies, it's like this. All right. It ain't that they're dating the white women because they're weak. That's not what it is. What it is they're dating the white women because the white women are not difficult to date. They still do simple dating. They really want somebody. They're not making it a difficult thing, and they're not doing it. So the black men don't want. All right, let me try to say it in another way. Okay, let's say you ladies, all right, you go on a date. Y'all can relate to this. And you meet a guy, and he's super complicated. He's like, you know, being real picky about something that's super simple. And you just meeting the guy. You don't know him. You never dated him. You never been around him. You're just meeting the guy. And he's being very difficult. He wants the temperature to be a certain way. He wants to go to a certain particular restaurant. He wants to sit in a certain spot. He wants to certain caliber of restaurant. And you're going to be paying for all of this. And the man is just making it difficult. And you're like paying for everything. And he should be grateful that you want to take him out, but he's not. He's still being picky, still giving you attitude, talking about what he wants, how he wants it. And you're the one with the money and he's the one with nothing. And he wants you to pay for everything, and you should pay for it and deal with his shit. All right? This is man one. And you meet another guy. He's nice. He's simple. He's grateful. He's appreciative. He doesn't really care where you take him. He wants to go out with you. He really wants to get to know you. He doesn't care about the price of the food. He doesn't care about where it's at. He just wants to see you and be around you and get to know you, because he really is interested in dating you. It's not about where you work at with him. It's not about what you have. It's not about what you drive. It's about really getting to know you. And he's just attracted to you. You know, he likes what he sees. He wants to date you. He wants to get to know you. Okay? And he looks better. He's in better shape. Or let's just say equal value in looks. Okay? Which would you choose? The one with the most resistance or the one with the least resistance? Which would you choose? Okay? This is just down to preference and choice, ladies. It has nothing to do with color per se. The reason it's coming up with color because the black women, they have all become difficult to date. And all the black men are having the same problem. So all the black men, the majority, okay? Because whatever the majority, that's your all. If you got 3 out of 100 that disagrees, but the other 97 agree, we going with the 97. We ain't going with the 3, because the 3 don't make sense. The majority is where we live at. We don't live in the lottery winners. We live in the majority, okay? If the majority of people are having the same problem, and you look around and you see the majority of men not wanting to date you and saying the same things, then there is a problem there. And either you're going to fix that if you don't want to die alone and get a mate, or want you to get you a quality man before your looks and beauty fades, or you're going to sit there and you're going to keep saying, well, I ain't got to change and I ain't got to this. Let me explain something to you ladies that I don't think you understand. There are way more women than there are men. Black women more than black men. A couple of years ago, I want to say 2, they did a survey for like 3 years in a row, and it showed that there were 2 million more women that couldn't get married. Even if every black man in America wanted to marry them, there would still be 2 million women that could never marry. You can't beat numbers, and those numbers are saying that there are way more of you than us, because men die faster because they do more of the dangerous jobs. They live more of a dangerous life, because everything that a man does and becomes, he does it to get him a mate. And y'all don't want to date us until we become what you want. And I think that's really nasty, because you should be with the man the way it was back in the days with the grandmas, was they was with their men when their men had nothing, and they supported those men, and those men became something. And those women respected that, and they lived a great life, and they were happy, and they had families. What happened was you guys came up and you were lazy. Your moms came up and they were lazy. They didn't want to do that work. They wanted to party. They wanted to be in the street. They wanted to club. They wanted to dress how they want. Birth control came. Now they could go be promiscuous, sleep with all these men, and not really have to take accountability. So you guys made choices. Your mamas made choices and passed it down to you, and you guys are doing what they did, and they didn't get married, and now you guys are not about to get married because you're following in their footsteps. Okay? If you do what a person that broke tells you to do and you got money, you will be broke. If you do what a person that's rich that tells you to do and they got money and you got some money and you do what they tell you to do, you will be rich. You will make it. You will be rich. Because who knows more about the money? The rich person or the broke person? The rich person. So what is basically going on is the women are listening to women who don't have the results reflected in their life that they know what they're talking about, or that it even works. That's what's happening, okay? And you guys are following y'all want to take the easy route, but the easy route is what is you're going to lose, because you don't have the results over there to show that works. It doesn't work. Anything you go in life to ask God for that's worth having, you're going to have to make sacrifices and changes in your life for you to have them and keep them. You can't make a temporary change and get a permanent result. It doesn't work that way. It is a lifestyle change. You ladies have a bad attitude. You're being picky and you don't really offer much. The men have to work real hard and take years of their life to get to be the man that you would date. The problem with that is he goes through a lonely period where you guys are out partying and sleeping with all the men you want, and he can't date anybody because he ain't where he's supposed to be. So when he gets there and he finally makes it, and it takes him 10 or 15 or 12 years or 7 years to get there, and he went through that on his own and no woman would date him, he don't want to date you when he's there. Because now he wants the woman he wants because he's earned the right to pick. And now that he can have what he wants, he don't want anything. He don't want the leftovers of other men. He don't want the woman that's been passed around by a lot of guys. He don't want the woman that slept with a whole bunch of men that ain't special no more to him. He don't want the woman that dresses like a 304 and still thinks she's a lady and wants somebody to treat her like a lady when she really ain't acting like one. When men pick a woman, ladies, it means that she's special. Special to us is a woman that has not been with a lot of men, that treats us right, that caters to us, that we like and get along with, and that carries herself as a woman that is feminine. We don't want masculine women. These women that are saying what they're saying about the men are masculine women. And I'm sorry, ladies, but masculine women, wherever you go look, they never get the men they want. They never get them. And when they marry, they never get the men they wanted. They get to sleep with the men. They don't get to keep them. And all men can tell you this, except for the below average man, because he don't really get women like that. So those men are the men who, they went to go get the job. They didn't fix themselves. They're not in the greatest shape. Some of them still get plenty of women because they got the money and they understand what I'm talking about. But there's a lot of men that are just lost too, that think that you're supposed to wine and dine the 304, and the rest of us don't agree with that. We just don't. We don't want that. That's not special. Special to us is a woman that has not been with a lot of men, that is feminine, that knows how to treat us, carries herself like a lady, knows how to treat us, treats us well, has our back and stands beside us, and it's not about the money. Because that's the woman, that's the wife. And your Bible clearly states, ladies, that when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. It never said that all the women were wives. It says when the man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. Meaning a wife thinks like a wife, carries herself like a wife, dresses like a wife, acts like a wife. Well, what does a wife act and dress like? She's conservative. She doesn't show her body to everybody. She doesn't go to clubs and parties like that. She's not in the face of all men. She's not being promiscuous and sleeping with a bunch of men. Because nowhere in history that you can look back that any time that men celebrated women being promiscuous and being 304s, you never seen it, because men don't want it. They had a place for women even back in the Western days. Brothels. They had a place for them back in the king and queen days. Brothels. You put the 304s in the brothels, and the men came, paid for a service, got the service, smiled with her, laughed with her, did his thing, and went on by his business. And if next week he came and he wanted her friend or another one that was different, he paid for that one the same price, and he went in there and he did his thing. And when those women get old and, you know, they not so popular like the younger ones that's in there, then they don't get picked as much. They might get picked by the older fat guys or the old men that, you know, they have a hard time, you know, or they attitude. So when you start to lose your beauty, this is why your attitude has to be great, because your attitude can get you a lot further than your looks a lot of the times. If you had the two things together, imagine the power you would have. A beautiful woman with a great attitude, every man will want her. The problem that you ladies are not seeming to understand is you guys do not want to change. You want to stay the same, and you want to get the results. Where they do that at? Where you can stay the same and still get what you want. Think about it. In life, everybody had to make changes to get what they wanted. They had to make changes to get what they wanted. And if they didn't make the changes, they didn't get what they wanted. Michael Jackson had to go through a whole bunch of changes to get to be the perfect Michael, to get what he wanted. He practiced. He practiced all his life. And when the opportunity presented itself, he was already ready for it. It was a natural thing because he'd been doing it so much in his sleep, day and night. He practiced. And that's why when he got that opportunity and it showed up, he got it. He knew he was going to get it. He just didn't know when it was going to come. But he prepared for it. Michael Jordan, same thing. These guys, there were guys better than them. But when the opportunity presented itself, because they prepared their whole life for it, because they knew it was going to show up, that's having faith, by the way, ladies. Having faith in your creator, which is something a lot of you don't have. You don't have faith in God. You think you do. Faith in God is, I'm going to just walk this straight path and sacrifice not talking to all these guys and sleeping with these men. And I'm going to work on being the best version of myself I could possibly be. And I'm going to trust that I'm praying for God to give me a great guy, that he's going to bring me that guy that I want, that has all these qualities, characteristics, and traits. And guess what? God sends that man to you. And because you wasn't in everybody's face, you can tell that man when you see him. But here's the other problem that you guys are having.
Looks like the aliens got here first.
Here's the other problem that you guys are having, okay? Because you're in the face of so many men and you have so much preferences now because you've opened your mind to all these different things and you're an emotional creature, you can't handle it. So now when the nice guy shows up with the money, y'all can't tell who got the money. Y'all looking for the guy to show the money that got the money. Y'all looking for the guys that show the money ain't finna give you their money. They not gonna give it to you. Okay? Men are not stupid men. He can show you money, sleep with you, take you out, have a great time, bang you up, and he'll never date you. And y'all been getting that plenty of times, and y'all still haven't learned that you can't change the mind of a man. If a man don't want to date you, there's a reason why he don't want to date you. You might not be his type. And when you say, well, he's sleeping with me. No. That don't mean you his type. You just might look good. Let me tell you something about men, and I tried to explain in other videos, but I'm going to see if I can do a better job here. Okay? A man, let's say he's a titty man, but you got a nice booty, and you're very pretty, and you got real hair. He'll sleep with you, but because you don't got those titties, he ain't going to marry you. He wants the titties. He wants the full package for his wife. He wants the full package. He wants what he likes. You don't have to be the perfect woman, but you have to have what he likes, because a man is a physical creature and he's not an emotional creature like you are. We're emotional too, but we're different. We're logical first and we're visual first. Y'all like what y'all hear. We like what we see. So if you're not really what he likes, right? He's not going to marry you. He's not going to marry you. He might date you for a while. He don't got to worry about time the way you do. So, and because we're not equal, that plays a major role too. Because I've heard a lot of women say, oh, well, you know, you're in the same age group as me. Yeah, but we're two different species with two different biologies. Okay? I don't have to worry about time. I can make babies until I die if I choose. You, on the other hand, you do have to worry about time. You can't make babies for as long as a man. You're at high risk pregnancy at 35. So think about it. If I could climb trees and do all the physical things that I like to do, and you can climb trees, and we're both young and we can do that, but my body is built to do it. As a man, I could keep climbing those trees and doing all these physical things. But you can't. Eventually your mind will change and say, I don't do trees no more, because you can't climb them anymore. You can't do all that physical stuff that you used to be able to do. So imagine you have a man that's in your age group, but he's in his strongest body in his later years, right? So he's 40, 45. He's still lifting and doing all the things. He has his best body in his later years because his muscles mature and his bones and all that stuff matures in his later years. In his early years, he's unripe. He's like the unripe fruit. He ain't completely blossomed and bloomed yet. He's still in the blooming phase, the blossoming phase. So you're in your aging out. You can't do any of that stuff. Your body can't handle it. His body is built to do it, and he can. So he's still thinking climbing trees. He's still thinking all the physical stuff because he does it. He can do it. You can't. So the problem with the women and the disconnect you guys are having is you're trying to tell yourselves you're the same, and you're not. You can't do what we can do. You weren't built to do what we can do. You got a problem with that? Take it up with God. God made us in his image after his likeness. It says the kingdom of God is in the mind of all men. So here is what I'm going to say. Ladies, if you don't get a husband, it isn't the end of the world, but it is the end of the world for you when it comes to having a man to protect you, having a man to do all those things that a husband would do, help you out, come to you in the middle of the night, comfort you when you're going through something, hold you, console you, be there for you, help get you out of that shit. The men are not going to do that if you're not their wives. So yeah, y'all can sit and say, well, we don't have to marry. You don't. But you're not going to get a boyfriend to do the job of a husband unless he sees you as a wife. For him to see you as a wife, you ladies have to treat him like a wife, even though you're not married to him. It's just like the guy that wants to be a millionaire. He has to go around the millionaires, act and think like the millionaires to become the millionaire. He can't go over there and say, well, when I become a millionaire, God, when you make me one, I'll change my ways and I'll act like them. It does not work that way, because then you're going to make a lot of mistakes with the money. You're going to make a lot of messed up things. You're going to lose the money because you haven't made the changes you need to keep it. When you practice and you walk the path, you can look at where you want to go and you can see other people there. And you can see what it would take for you to be there from where you are right now. Because you can see all the things that you're not doing, that they are doing. And you're going to have to do a lot of the things that they're doing to be where they are. You're not going to come over to where they're at. The top athletes in the world had to train and work out. You're not going to come where they at and beat them at what they do. And you don't train or work out. You ain't even going to get in the rankings with them. You ain't even going to be on the same line in the same arena with them. You just not, because you haven't prepared, you haven't trained, you haven't fixed, you haven't gotten your mind on that level to understand that you're competing, ladies. You are competing, whether you want to be in a competition or not. Just like the men are competing, you're all competing. Let me show you so you understand. When you walk out in your malls and your stores, there are other women walking around in there with you that are more beautiful than you are, that look better than you, that have better attitudes than you, that have different complexions than you, longer, realer hair than you, real eyelashes, real hair, real beauty, and they don't need the makeup to look that way. Okay, they don't need it. All right. So how do you, as a person that's wearing a bunch of fake stuff, compete with the person that's wearing all the real stuff? Think about it. Would you pick the man that's wearing all the fake jewelry, or would you pick the man that's wearing all the real jewelry? Would you pick the man that's riding in the fake Lamborghini that he done went and made in his garage that can't do what the real one can do, or would you pick the man that's riding in the real one if you had to choose between those two? Now, because y'all like to take things and go left field because you don't want to deal with reality, deal with that reality. Because the reality is, ladies, high caliber and quality men are not easy to find. And when you find them, you still have to be what they want. You still have to be what the men you want. If you're not what the men you want, you're not going to get those men. It is just that simple, okay? I'm not saying it'll be nasty. I think I'm doing pretty well on this video. I'm not even going off, okay? I'm trying real hard to get you ladies to understand that you have made a very fatal flaw in your calculations. If you get older, you get sick for whatever reasons, and you don't have a husband, who's going to take care of you? Let me see if I can answer that to a lot of you baby mamas and unmarried women. You're going to put the burden on your children. You're going to say, well, my children will. White people don't do that. They don't do that. No, the other cultures do that. The children will be there, but it's the person they chose to be there for them that's going to take that responsibility, okay? The person that they chose to be there for them is going to take that responsibility when you fall, when you need to be bathed or rolled over in your bed. Vice versa, the women who are with the men and it happens to the men, the women do that for their husbands. But the type of women that are here now, you guys don't want to stand beside no man. Y'all all want to stand in front of him. Y'all want to compete with him. Y'all want to take what he got. Y'all are not of God. I'm just sorry. I'm just going to say it. If I had to put a title on it, you would be the devil's children. You guys don't represent the creator because you're not being respectful to other people's preferences, but you want them to be respectful to yours. And you're not special, ladies. Nowhere in there does it say that you're special. It says the man comes first. And all y'all who have went and made babies out of wedlock think you gonna get a husband and that husband gonna let you put the other man kids in front of him and he the one with the money, the career, and all the assets to bring to the table, and you ain't got nothing but some booty, and all them other women I just described are walking around every day single without men because it ain't enough men to go around for none of the women, and they want your men, and you think the men ain't gonna take the real booty, the real hair, the real beautiful woman with a better attitude that is wanting to get on his program and his page and cater to him and gonna rub his back. You guys aren't even competition to those women. There was a German woman that came online and said that y'all wasn't even competition for y'all men, because y'all still think in y'all head that there's an endless supply of men out here for you because you're getting all this attention from guys who just want to sleep with you and don't want to date you. Listen to me, ladies, and listen to me well. A man can like you enough to sleep with you, but not like you enough to date you because you're not girlfriend material. He can like you enough to date you, but not like you enough to marry you because you're not wife material, okay? So what this means is you have to be what the person you want. Now, a man can just say, you know what, she's cool to kick it with. Let's say he's a hips and booty guy, and you don't have the hips, but you went and got you a BBL. He's not going to marry you. Men don't want fake booties. They just don't want it. We can overlook a lot of things, but if you're not what we really like, we're not going to marry you, and we're not going to date you and take you serious. We can date you and like you enough to date you, but you're not wife material, which means we can date you for years. We don't have to worry about time. So when you guys are getting older and then you start, beauty starts to fade, now you want the guy to marry you and he won't marry you, you need to ask him why. And the problem, you need to really be able to deal with what he's going to say and really get him to tell you the truth. Because a lot of the men will not tell you the truth, but they don't want to hurt your feelings and they don't want you to get upset. So I'm going to tell it to you like this. I am giving you the truth about men. And the reason I'm doing that is because I have 2 daughters grown, and I've dated plenty of women, and I see that you guys are lost. And I have always told the women up front what I was with, what I wasn't with, and I got treated like a king because of it. And I treated them like queens when I dated them. Excuse me. But I got treated that way because I wasn't tolerating shit, because I knew my value and I knew my worth, and I had things to bring to the table. And she was only bringing me some booty. And that just wasn't enough. Because I had plenty of women that I never had an issue getting no booty, getting no woman to sleep with me or keeping them in a relationship, because I know how to please women. When you've been with women enough, you know how to do it, because men have to pay attention to a woman to get a woman to sleep with a woman, but a woman don't have to pay attention or listen to a man to sleep with a man. All she got to do is look good and open her legs, and the men will line up. But none of the men are going to take her serious after those men see that we just ran through her. Now, if they wanted to sleep with her, she wanted to sleep with her again, they might do that. But they not going to date her, and they never going to take her serious, because we don't want women like that. You're not going to change the men. If you go back, like I said, and look at the beginning of time, the kings, the emperors, no matter what color they were, nobody wanted the 304s. No one wanted it. No one wants it. You ask 100 men, and 100 men will tell you they don't want it. You ask 100 quality men, you ain't going to get one of them to say they want it. Now, if she looked good enough, a couple of them might say we might sleep with her. And that's a might. Some men don't even want to go behind those other men that are like that, because they feel that that's nasty and dirty and they don't want it. And I'm like that. I wouldn't want to sleep behind a whole bunch of guys. If I saw 5 guys just run you in the ground and you beautiful, I don't want to touch you at all with a 10-foot pole, not even to sleep with you, because I just saw the nasty shit you did with these guys, and these guys are nasty. I don't want that. If you've been getting you choked and spit in the face, and every hole been getting beat up, and they've been pounding on you and just taking you to Pound Town and just doing all kind of stuff to you, why would I want that after they just did it? I used to have a thing I would say to the women about, my ex, my baby daddy, my ex-husband, because they would go back and forth between their men. He wanted to meet you because they like to play that game and keep the men in the picture. I say that he wants to try to meet me, but it's going to hurt his feelings that he meets me, because he ain't in no physical shape. And he gonna try to think he could compete with me, because he gonna come in because he used to you going back and forth and picking low-level guys that he can go in and say the stuff he doing and show his weight, because he's your baby daddy or your ex-husband. I say, but if he comes over here and he asks me questions about what I did to you, I'm going to tell him how I took you to Pound Town and raw dogged you and choked you and yoked you up. And I'm going to tell him how I was beating you down and how I've been doing all these things to you. And when he see and hear what I done, he ain't going to want you no more. He ain't going to want you no more, and he ain't going to like me. So I don't think it'll be a good idea to try to come over here and be friend and try to play friends with me, because he really want to be able to come around you when I ain't around and make it look, y'all can make it look like he here to see his kid, and that's how you go back and forth and sleep with him, and you trying to get me to go for what the other guys went for, but I ain't going for it. If you bring him around me and he comes to me and he gets out of line or asks a question, he gonna get his feelings hurt, because I'm gonna tell him the truth. I'm going to tell him what I really been doing to you and how I really do your ass. And when he looking at me and I'm on point, he already know that it's true, and he ain't going to like you no more, and he going to be very upset. So don't bring your dude around me talking that crazy shit, because y'all want to try to keep this whole thing going that y'all got going on by hiding from other people. What's going on? Y'all want to keep y'all little way of life going, and you gonna try to play that game with me that you done played with every man before me, because every man before me, you still went back and slept with him after you left those men, because you still had feelings for him. He married to another woman. He done cheated on you with the other chick, because that's what it was. He cheated on her, went and got with another lady, made babies with the other lady, took half of this one's shit because he didn't have nothing. She had the houses and shit left from her family. He took half of that shit, went and blowed through it. She's still dealing with him, and She going back sleep with him behind the other lady back, talking about she getting at her the way the lady got at her. You ain't getting at that lady. That lady got married. He left you and went to her. Both of y'all fools if you ask me. But she sitting over there getting the leftovers and he's still sleeping with his wife and he coming over sleeping with his ex-wife. Because he got the kid with her, older kid with her, that was almost grown. And he was calling her and asking her where she was and getting it, and his daughter like damn near 17. And she got a cell phone. And she was sitting and explaining to him things. And then try to get out the phone because I really wasn't saying nothing. I was just sitting there seeing how far she gonna take it. Remember, ladies, I can like you enough to sleep with you, but not like you enough to date you. We can like you enough to date you, but not like you enough to marry you. She wanted to marry me. Why would I marry somebody like that and you still got open doors to your past exes? I'm not an idiot. I'm beating you down. Why do I need to? I'm beating you down in the bedroom. I'm going to clarify it. I'm beating you down in the bedroom because when I'm talking about beat downs, I'm talking about in the bedroom. I'm doing you in there, okay? I'm giving you the 1-2, the okie doke, okay? The patty cake, baker's man. Okay, the smack it, flip it, rub it down. Oh no, I'm tossing it up and slamming it down, okay? You're loving it, all right? If you still talking to your ex and I see that, why would I take you serious and date you? Why would I ever consider living with you? And why would I marry you if that's the way you living? I don't care. You're not my wife and you're not my lady. It's just my turn. You're more like his woman because he's still with you. And in his mind, that's why he's coming at her like that because he sees he has 2 wives. This is how he's looking at it. And I'm destroying the one you left. And don't piss me off because then I might go get the one you with just to teach you a lesson since you want to get in over there. I go let her know what you're doing and bang her up over there. And then none of them won't want to talk to you no more. Because I don't care about your feelings like that. If you're going to come at me like that, I'll do it. I can get with you on that level. We could compete. So every time I'm with her, right? Let me show you my mind. I know that she was with him and I know that she trying to go back and forth. She ain't doing it with me. But I know that she'll break it off at some point. I might not want to talk to her no more. I'm giving her something to think about. So I'm going to town on her to the limit. Every single time I'm with her, I'm going in on her. Pleasing her, but I'm going in on her. Because I'm looking at it as she's not my chick. She's his chick. And it's just my turn. And I'm just borrowing her for a little bit. And I'm sending her back to him. That's how I'm looking at it. Because that's the way she's showing me I need to deal with it. Because she's still trying to speak to him. So after her explaining herself to him a couple of times and being on my time, I had to put her in her place. It only happened like 2 or 3 times. And I said, listen, why are you coming over to ask me to come be with you or hang out with you and you still dealing with him? Oh, no. Because I wanted to see how far she would take it, just what kind of woman she was. And this was an older chick with a good job and a good degree. Don't matter your job, don't matter your degree, don't matter your age. You guys still do dumb shit. Y'all just do stupid shit. I'm just going to be honest. Y'all do stupid shit. And men are not dumb. What we'll do, if we see that, we'll just say, okay, she's recreational use only. And that's the way I saw her. I didn't see her as my girlfriend. I didn't see her as a potential girlfriend. I didn't see her to marry her. I didn't see her to take nothing serious. I seen her as recreational use only. She was cool. We can have a conversation. I could tolerate being around her. She would be nice. I'm not spending my money on her because she's still dealing with him. Why would I invest into a woman that is still investing in her past relationship with her ex-husband? That makes no sense, ladies. You guys think in your mind that you can bring your other men into the picture and that the present guy is going to be faithful and loyal to you while you bring your men into the picture. Because what you're really trying to do is get him to accept the other man. You're trying to get him to accept the other men because you're still dealing with the other men, or you still got feelings with the other men, or you've been going back and forth with those men. Those men still like you. So you want to keep them in the picture because when you need your plumbing touched up, you can go to him. When you need some pictures hung on your wall or your car has a problem, you can go to your baby's daddy. Here's the problem with that. Ain't no man gonna take a woman serious when we see you doing that. We're just not stupid, ladies. I'm giving it to you the way it is. We're not stupid, and ain't none of us going to accept that ever. It's never gonna happen. Ever. We'll sit there and silently make our decision from the very beginning. We ain't gonna wait and say later. No. We're not you guys. We're not emotional. We're not hoping it works out. We're gonna go with logic. We see this. We know it's not right. We're not gonna take you serious. We're not gonna invest into you. We'll just sleep with you and keep it moving. As long as we can sleep with you, we will. That's it. We're not gonna take you serious, and we're not gonna invest and go into a relationship with you, because it would be a failed relationship. If it was a marriage, it'd be a failed marriage. She wanted to marry me and wanted me to live with her. Well, why would I do that? You think I want your ex-husband coming around where I'm at? What about when I'm going off to work or going to travel or do something and you can't go with me? Or what if I piss you off one day? What will you do? It's chance and possibilities that you're going to go talk with him. You've been going back and forth with this guy since you divorced this guy. Why would I take you serious? So the lady just was coming with crazy shit. And in her mind, it wasn't crazy. But to me and every other guy before me, it was crazy, because none of the men took her serious, because she couldn't keep nobody. And your results, ladies, are a reflection that what you say works or doesn't work. So if you're not getting the results you want and you're dating plenty of men, then that means what you're doing does not work and the men are not buying it. We choose the brides. We give the rings. A man controls relationship and marriage. The men do, not the women. You guys control sex and babies. We control relationship and marriage. Your power is temporary. Your power with sex is also not really there, because there's a whole world of women that have better attitudes than you, that look better than you, and they're single. Remember, there are not enough men to go around to all the women. Even if all the women wanted them, there will still be billions of women that couldn't get married. So the men have a fleet of options, and they're going to exercise that the same way you guys do. So I'm going to say it like this. It ain't that the black men are choosing to go to white women or other colored women. The other women are more family oriented, and they're treating the men the way they're supposed to be treating, the way your great grandmothers treated us. Good. Like men, like people. You guys are treating the men like shit, like stepping stools, like they're a paycheck, like they're an ATM. Like they're supposed to be footstools or the people that shine your shoes. And them days are over. The men ain't with it, we ain't doing it, and we ain't in agreement with you on none of it. So yes, I too, I would date any other color. I have no preferences on color. I don't have no restrictions on color. If she's a nicer woman to me, I will date her. I don't care what color, what nationality she is. She's beautiful, she's nice, I like her, I'm attracted to her. She ain't got to be the best looking in the world. She ain't got to be slim. She can be thick. I like thick. She can be older and fine. I'll date her. Before I date the one that's younger and got a bad attitude, I date the older one. I actually like older ones anyway. But a lot of them are polluted and corrupted too, because they all can't handle what they see. They can't handle, having a little power, having some attention. Y'all confuse marriage and relationship attention with sexual attention. Us as men, we all have a code. We know which one it is. When we see the man or we see the woman, we already know what it is. It's the woman that does not know, not the men. The men are the one. We know y'all more better than y'all know us. And we know men because we are men. A woman can't come to no man and tell him that this man don't like her and this man know men and he been a man himself and he been through his whole life. He know what time it is. This a lot of us in denial and don't want to deal with the reality, but we know real smart men that have been with women and have experience with women, they know what the reality really is, and that's just what it is. So the men are choosing the other women because the other women are easier to date. they really want a relationship. They're not looking at the men as ATMs. They're not looking at the men saying they got to go to 5-star restaurants. They got to get their hairdos. They're not coming to the men with a whole bunch of other men's children that didn't have nothing, and then trying to use and squeeze this guy with all the life, squeeze all the life out of this guy. They're not trying to have all their baby daddies in the picture and their ex-husbands in the picture. Men don't want that stuff, and they're never going to accept that, and they're never going to settle with that, and they're never going to marry that or take that serious. I don't care which ladies, what degrees you got, what coaches you got. It ain't going to help you with the men. I'm telling you about the men. You go around and ask the men if I'm saying something that ain't true. The men will be honest. They'll tell you, no, he's telling you the truth. That's the truth. A man sees that, he never going to take you serious. I talked to that lady that I'm telling you about in this story. I talked to that lady on and off about 2-3 years. Didn't faze me one bit when she left. Not even, I ain't lose no sleep. I was actually kind of happy because her hygiene wasn't the best all the time because she's trying to do multiple men. And, you know, she had odors down there sometimes. And, you know, sometimes women gonna have those odors because it's their time of the month, or, you know, some women are a little stronger than others. But when you sleep with a bunch of men and your body's taking in the DNA of all the men you sleeping with, and you trying to go back and forth between men, sorry, but you don't smell too hot. She was clean sometimes. She was clean a lot of the time. But she didn't smell too hot a lot of the time too, because she had been so beat down and ran through. She'll go to smelling so easily, and I didn't like that. I didn't want a life with that. I didn't like the ex-husband in the picture. I didn't like none of it, so I wasn't gonna take it serious. Just too many flags on the field, too many struggles. Too many obstacle courses to go through. So I wasn't going to accept any of that. I already looked at it from the beginning as she wasn't wifey material. And when I talked to her for a while, I realized she wasn't girlfriend material. So I just talked it to her. I never took her serious. I didn't really invest into her like that because it wasn't worth investing in. You know, I gave her, try to give her a chance after chance. I sat and talked with her, but she just wasn't comprehending. She was used to having it her way. She had told me that prior guys, she was okay with her being cool, meeting her ex-husband, which told me that she had done this prior and that they did this game, because as soon as she would not be with the guys, she going back and sleep with him. And he was cool with who she talked to because he was above them physically and body, until he got to me. And then when he seen somebody that was on a higher scale than him, financially and physically, it didn't bother me seeing it didn't bother me at all. I never would have cared. He could have been bigger. Wouldn't have bothered me. He still ain't gonna do what I can do. He still ain't me. He still can't mess with me in a lot of areas. Because if he was that good, she'd be beating his dough down and she would have never let him leave. But, you know, it just is what it is. She wanted to marry me and she wanted me to live and move in with her. I mean, she was moving real quick, which tells me just from that, only being with her a couple of times at that time, that I was better than he was, because she didn't want to sleep with him no more. And that's what you ladies do. When you get a guy that's better, you don't want to sleep with the other one no more. Now you want to make all these changes and tell the other one he can't come around. That's what she did. Oh, he can't come around, he this. And he started flipping out, and she was like, hey, I'm not with you. You're not my husband. You have a wife. Now she's standing her ground because she wants to date me, and I wasn't going to go with the dumb shit. She kept trying to position him into the picture. And I just said, it's not going to happen. And the fact that she wouldn't give up on it, even though she would, because he was really trying to want to come around and he couldn't come around, and she didn't want me to show up and see him there, because then she would ruin what she had going on. I just said, you know what, this is just too much. She not my wife. I ain't got no kids with her. I can walk away at any point. I'm going to let her be. If she want to come and give me some and I feel like taking it or doing it with her, then I will. When I get tired of her, I'm just going to kick her to the curb. And I got tired of the dumb shit real quick because I really don't like to share. Now, if she was married and she came to me and told me she was married and she wanted to talk to me, that's a different story. If I choose to talk to her at that point, I already know she got a husband. That's different. But when that's your ex-husband, your kid is like 15, 16 years old, and you still explaining to him and he's still coming around, yeah, I got a problem with that. So, yeah, I had to cut her off, and she kept trying to come back. She like, oh, I moved. No, because I know that dude's still going to be in your life because you kept going back and forth. She still had feelings for him. And when she liked me, she was ready to throw him to the curb. Then if I would have been whacked, she would have thrown me to the curb. So she's just not a good woman to deal with or have at all. The truth. That's the truth. She wasn't wife material. She wasn't girlfriend material. She just wasn't. She had a failed marriage. Didn't work out. She couldn't get remarried. She wanted a particular type of man she felt she qualified for. She really didn't. She was average looking. She had a little bit of a booty, but she was, average looking. She was slim chick. She had really big, nice titties. She went and cut her titties down. They still was big and nice, but she just did what she wanted to do with her body and wanted a man to accept it. And I'm sorry, ladies, but men don't accept crazy things when you do crazy things to yourself. BBLs and all these surgeries, we don't want that. We are never going to accept that. And to me, you should be trying to cater to your man and not trying to cater to yourself, because you're not marrying yourself. You're trying to marry the man. But if you won't get a man what he want, why would he marry you? If you want to go put on hooker's uniform and go out in the street and walk through the hooker blocks and do some of the actions of the hooker, but you don't want us to look at you as a hooker, then why are you doing all the stuff like a hooker? And why would we want the hooker, you, who does everything the hooker does? We might as well just go on out there and get the hooker. And that's where the communication is getting lost. That's where everything is getting lost. Because you ladies want to do all the wrong things, but still want the good guy. And the good guy don't want a woman like that. Y'all gonna clash. You masculine. He's a real man. He not gonna be able to be the girl, the bitch girl. He's not gonna be able to be the beta male. He's not gonna be able to be the yes guy. He's not gonna be able to do that. He's not going to be able to do that. Y'all want the guy to be the yes guy for all y'all want, and then y'all want him to be that masculine man when it comes to putting it down in the bedroom, and be that masculine man and put you in your place when you know you out of line for doing it. And men don't want women they have to handle. They just don't want it. He ain't going to be your beta male. A beta male is a beta male. We can't switch roles. We can't go flip-flop like that. A man is a man all the time. He's a man. If you want a man, you're going to have to deal with the way a man is. If you can't deal with the way a man is, then you ain't ready for no man. A lot of y'all just not wife material, and a lot of y'all not girlfriend material. You shouldn't get upset about that. Your life is a reflection that tells you what you really are by the results you have and what the men have chose to do. All the different men have never stayed. You're not wife material. There's some things you got to fix. Period. Everybody can hoop, can't go to the NBA and hoop with the pros. Everybody can box, can't go get in the ring with the top boxers, the top ranked ones in the world. You outclassed, outgunned, outmaneuvered, outflanked. You just outranked. You're out of your league. And then you just gonna have to go and make some preparations and fix. Some of y'all can't get in that league, no matter what you do. But you can have the best attitude. You can have the best catering skills. You can be clean and nice and very feminine and ladylike, and then take care of yourself, you'll get you a husband. You will get you a husband you will want. You might not get the top guy, but you can get somewhere. You can get the top guy for you. I make the videos to try to help you guys to make better decisions so you all don't have to die by yourselves, or when you get old, you're not going to be alone and have to put it on your kids and have your kids trying to do the job, son husbands, brother husbands, uncle husbands, because you couldn't submit to a man, and you supposed to by your Bible and your religion. You supposed to. The men who have those masculine roles will never take a woman that's not submissive. A man don't want to go through fighting life and then come home and fight the woman he got to be with for everything he want. We don't want that. We want it to be simple. Life should be enjoyed and simple. It should never be this complicated when it comes to dating and picking a mate. That's all I'm going to say, because I could go on with this forever. But they're not weak men. They just don't want masculine, male, unsubmissive, far from God, disobedient, rebel, defiant, rude, disrespectful women for their girlfriends or their wives. They don't want it, and they're never going to accept that, ladies. That's just it. Make the changes like everybody else has to in this world, to God, to have what you want, or die alone, perish alone. Go through your illnesses and all your sicknesses and all your problems when you break down, and the maintenance of all your life that you're going to need, men. Go through it alone or with a man that you don't want. That's the two options you got. Really, it's three. You can make the change, or you can take dying alone, or you can take dying with somebody you don't really want to be with. Those are your only three options. There is nowhere else to go. There is no in-betweens. There is no being on both sides of the gate. It's one of those. So, I hope it helps. I hope the video helps. I tried, and I was working on my language real good. So, I hope it helps. Anyway, enjoy your day, ladies.